This program is brought to you by thepodcastfactory.com.
I don't think you can overclose. I don't think you can overmail. And like you just said, the folks that don't want to hear from you, they'll unsubscribe. The folks that like hearing from you sooner or later will end up, opening the email and taking an action.
Hi, my name is Igor Kheifets, and this is the List Building Lifestyle, the only podcast which delivers cutting-edge conversion strategies from the online trenches straight to your earbuds. Download the transcript of today's episode and all future episodes at listbuildinglifestyleshow.com. I also invite you to grab a free copy of the Wealthy List Builder Survival Guide at listbuildinglifestyleshow.com/survival. And now, once again, it's time to claim your list building lifestyle. Welcome back to another edition of the List Building Lifestyle with your host, Igor Kheifets. And boy, am I excited today, because I get to interview the world's leading business hypnotist who's been featured on David Letterman, Howard Stern, and The Late Show, and now on the List Building Lifestyle, Mr. Marshall Sylver. Marshall, how are you, my friend?
I am always awesome, Igor. So glad to be here.
Oh man, I'm so glad to host you. So what are you up to? Where are you at right now?
Well, I am at my home, Prosperity Palace in Las Vegas right now. It's 17,000 square feet. And I'm about to, after we get done with this wonderful interview, jump on the air on MDTN.com and give away $1,000 cash. So it's an exciting day for me.
Oh, and of course, the person's going to get the $1,000. So
without a doubt.
Yeah. So Marshall, you are pretty much the world's leading authority on influence. Like, you're up there. You can literally make people do things like I've never seen anything like it before. So let's talk a little bit about influence, and specifically, since my crowd is internet marketers and the folks in the home-based business arena, like, what's the number one mistake you see internet marketers make when it comes to influencing and closing sales?
I want to start by clearly defining what I call influence, or specifically irresistible influence. And so I want to give this definition. And by the way, my intention during this interview is to share a lot of content that will be very useful for online or internet marketers or people who influence or sell in general. And so you want to take as many notes as you possibly can. And the first note that I want you to take is the definition of irresistible influence. Some people think that influence is getting someone to say yes, and that's not what I believe. I believe that irresistible influence is getting someone else to ask you for what you're selling. And that's not even the part that'll make you tingle. Irresistible influence is getting someone else to ask you for what you're selling and have them believe it was their idea. So when you can come from that point of view, when you can come from a evangelical point of view, that says, I want to position my products, my services, my offer in such a way that people are begging to be a part of it, to purchase it, to invest in it, to, be in business with me. When you learn how to frame your offer in that way, you're not begging people to buy. You're telling them, look, I'm doing you a favor. If you don't want the favor, I understand. You may not be in a position to actually take advantage or even recognize what an amazing offer this is. At the very same time, though, I wanted to give you one opportunity before I move on to the other masses to take this amazing gift that I have for you and utilize it in your own life.
Wow, no, that's a mouthful. So you're saying basically that the best way to sell your product is to make the prospect believe it was their idea to buy it in the first place.
Absolutely. And how we do that, and I want to talk about influence in general before I get down to the specifics of the question you asked me. You asked me, what people do ineffectively, or what could they do better, and what do online marketing people do well or not so well. And the belief and knowledge that all buying decisions are based first on emotion and then back up with logic is the very thing that gives me an unfair advantage. As you know, I am a hypnotist. The media calls me the greatest hypnotist of all time. And the reason they do that is that it's in my press kit. And the thing that I know is that the subconscious mind is the emotional mind. Our conscious mind is our logical mind. So that means all buying decisions are based first in our subconscious mind and then backed up logically. And the simplicity of that is you asked me where am I right now? Where am I speaking from? I'm in a 17,000 square foot palace in Las Vegas. And I'm the first person to admit no one needs a 17,000 square foot palace. Yes, I'm married. Yes, I have 3 young children, all born via hypnosis. Some might even say conceived via hypnosis. Yet no one needs a 17,000 square foot palace. You walk into the foyer, and the foyer is 2,000 square feet of space. It's got a piano. It's got a nice table with some beautiful flowers, except it's just space. And so when you recognize that, is that people don't buy because something makes sense. People buy something because they feel it's the right thing to do. And they're all avoiding, every purchase decision is based on either avoiding pain or moving toward pleasure. And our job is to turn up the pain and offer the pleasure. And of course, all of this conversation is based on people selling products worth what they're selling them for. Moral and ethical obligation to sell only what you believe in, and moral and ethical obligation to stop selling something you know isn't worth what you're offering it up for.
All right. So let's get down to the mistakes. What are some of the key mistakes you see internet marketers make when they attempt to influence others to buy their products?
There's so much noise. And although I am not a huge fan of social media myself from a lifestyle viewpoint, in order for us to create relationships with people that are meaningful, we must be willing to give value up front. We've got to do 3 things. I call them the 3 E's. As an internet marketer, as a marketer in general, as anybody in a position of selling something, the first thing we've got to do is capture people's attention. And that E is entertain. We've got to entertain people. You've got to stop and put yourself into the mindset, and a very empathetic mindset of what the consumer is going through. If they're online, they're looking at a massive amount of ads. They're distracted by Facebook and Twitter and searching things online. And there's just massive distraction. So we've got to do what any good marketer does and say, hey, here's some fun over here. This is something that will move you emotionally. Check it out. I created this network, MDTN.com, the $1 Million Training Network, as a means for people to be able to be trained without having to pay anything up front. That they need to be able to see, hey, Marshall Sylver and all the other people on the network, those are people that they've done what they're teaching. They are products of the product. More than that, they're easy on the eye. They're easy on the ear. They're easy on my timeline, meaning that even if I didn't learn anything, they're entertaining. During the course of our conversation, I made a couple of jokes, and I believe that funny means money. If you take a look at the highest grossing actors of all time, they're never action heroes. They're always comedians. And the highest grossing movies are often movies that have some sense of comedy inside of them. The other thing, too, the highest paid actors on television are always comedians, usually in sitcoms. The other thing to keep in mind, though, is that once we've entertained people, we can only keep their attention for so long. So the second E is we must, as marketers and as gurus and as brands, we've got to educate people. We've got to very quickly communicate to people that we know what we're talking about. We are indeed a product of the product. We've been where they are. Now we are where they want to be. And by being able to give them solid education, credible knowledge, credible solutions to their challenges, now we have done the 2 things we needed to do. We got their attention. We presented our offer, our product, our services, our information in such a way that they say, okay, I believe this person. I believe they're credible. I believe they know what they're talking about. I believe it's the solution for me. Now, here's the third E. And this is very, very, very important. The challenge for most people is not that they don't want a product. The challenge might not even be that they don't think the product is worth what it's being sold for. And when I say product, I mean could be a service, could be information, could be anything. The challenge for most people is they are more afraid of themselves than they are in making an investment in what the person is selling. Meaning, somebody comes to me and I show them, look, here's our training programs. We are a top-tier affiliate program. We pay out the highest commissions in the affiliate marketing industry, 75% commissions on top-tier products that range from $2,000 to $40,000, meaning we pay out a commission of $1,500 on the low end or $30,000 on the upper end for a single sale. Now, somebody might look at my biggest program, our summit that is taught right here at my palace in Las Vegas, and they may say, you know what, I've got the $40,000. I like the program. You've demonstrated to me all these other people that have gone through your summit and produced amazing results, some of them millionaires, some of them deca-millionaires, some of them even 100 millionaire. The challenge is, though, I don't believe in myself. And so even though I believe that your program works and it's certainly worth the money, I even have the money, I just don't know that I'll ever follow through. So the best thing that a marketer, online or offline, can do is we've got to get in the mind of our avatar customer and say, what would I need to make a purchase decision here? Years ago, I was contemplating doing an infomercial in the mid-90s. And unfortunately, there was a guy who had already captured the business and personal development infomercial market wholeheartedly. Nobody could usurp him. Nobody could get any business because he was just so strong. Of course, I'm talking about Tony Robbins. And so one of the things that you want to do is you want to also take a look at who your competitors are. What are the products that could be considered if somebody was going to make a consideration for your product offering or service, and say, okay, what are they doing? And if you take a look at the people that are the very best in that field, whether it's the best widget or whether it's the best book or whether it's the best seminar or best service, if you find the person that's best, then the reason they're best is they're doing something in their marketing message that is causing people to say, hey, I want to buy that. So I took a look at Tony's program, and he had a 90 days to personal power program. And I realized that with the huge number of people that had purchased the product, all his testimonials were celebrities. And while celebrity endorsements can be good, they can also be alienating. Just because Leonardo DiCaprio had amazing success with that product doesn't mean the average consumer will, because they're going to go, yeah, Leonardo, everything he touches, he wins. You know, I'm a common person. So when I did my infomercial, I used common people as my testimonials. I also, though, made sure that people realized it doesn't take 90 days to make a change. Change occurs in the twinkling of an eye. In a single moment, we decide that we want a better life, that we're willing to do what it takes, that we have the source in front of us to make it happen. The other thing, too, though, is that we want to not only position our products as better products all by themselves, we also want to make them faster, cheaper, and easier to access. And so when I created Passion, Profit, and Power, and we knocked Personal Power off the air for 5 months, they couldn't even run their infomercial because we were making such amazing sales and such amazing conversions, they couldn't afford the airtime that we were causing the price to go up on. When we created the product, I realized that the biggest reason most people don't succeed at anything, online marketing or otherwise, Igor, is the programs of their brain. And so because Passion, Profit, and Power, and because all of the programs that I do not only teach, they also program people, get right to a subconscious level and influence them at the deepest level. It causes those products to be sold. If I stand on a stage, I promise you, if there's other speakers selling things, I'm going to crush it. I'm going to sell more than everyone else combined. It's because I have that unfair advantage of subconscious influence, understanding hypnosis, and I'm able to speak directly to somebody's subconscious mind.
Wow. All right. Well, at first, I can't believe you knocked Tony off of his perch. That's just unbelievable. I didn't know that.
He's an amazing guy.
He is. He's truly, I mean, wow. I'm speechless right now. But, without going too deep into that conversation, I just want to kind of circle back and squeeze as much out of you as I possibly can, because you're a machine. And so here's my question to you. I want you to picture this. I want you to picture an average person, someone who just got online 3 months ago. They realized the value of list building. They want to make money using email marketing. They're a member of a business opportunity, which they're promoting as an affiliate. They bought into it. They got a link. They now get to promote it. So they're buying traffic. They're growing the list. But here's the challenge. They don't seem to make themselves mail the list. And this is like one of the biggest challenges I've had with my students, where I say, okay, so here's what you talk about in your emails. Now I want you to email every day and pitch in every email. And for some reason, they just won't do it. So obviously there's some sort of subconscious block going on that prevents people from really leveraging their list and their customer database and even their social media following. So perhaps you can help us identify what exactly that might be, or maybe give us a technique that allows us to go deep into our own psyche and figure this out.
Yeah, I'll set everybody straight in a short phrase. Be sure to write this down. It's the core of the reason most people don't mail to their email list. It's the reason most people don't offer something up for sale if they're doing a webinar or a live training. The phrase that they'll use is, oh, this isn't going to be a pitch fest, as if being a pitch fest was bad for anybody. Here's the reason most people don't mail, they don't sell, they don't close, they don't even offer what they're selling often enough, is those that are afraid to buy are always afraid to sell. Let me repeat that and explain. Those that are afraid to buy are always afraid to sell. If somebody holds a subconscious belief, Every single thought we hold, every belief that is ours that we own creates a psychosomatic, physiological response in the body to the point where if somebody holds a belief, it's impossible for them not to telegraph it in their emails, in their spoken word, in their, presence. So if I'm afraid to buy things, if I think, no, I need to protect myself from buying from that person, they're going to pull the wool over my eyes, they're going to try to sell me something. If that's the belief that I hold, guess what happens? When I go to sell something, everything in my language communicates that same fear. It causes people to say, oh, no, don't buy. There's got to be something wrong here. It's too good to be true. Oh, my gosh, no, we better hesitate. We better wait. We better consider. We better research. And so that is the biggest reason people aren't mailing to their list. I have two great friends of mine here in the States, Igor, Ryan Dice and Perry Belcher. And I am a closer from the platform. I've been on stage since I was 7 years old. I turn 54 next month. I have been on stage all of my life, 47 years. I've been teaching people and helping people and selling from the platform since I was 23. So that's 31 years. And I said it before, when you believe in what you're selling, you have a moral and ethical obligation to sell it. You are doing them a favor. It is in their best interest. So when Ryan Dice and Perry Belcher sat on my couch here at Prosperity Palace and they said, how big is your list? I told them the amount of people in my database. They said, how often do you mail to it? I said, once every, I don't know, 4 or 6 weeks. They looked at each other and they looked at me. They said, you don't have a list. I said, what do you mean? How often do you mail to your list? The number shocked me. They said 3 times a day. I said, 3 times a day? Here's the other reason some people don't mail. They have a fear that people will opt out. I said, won't people opt out? And they said, absolutely. People that aren't our customers always opt out. It's awesome. We don't waste time mailing to them.
Well, that's the exact same advice I give to my clients as well. I had an actual episode, I think, about unsubscribes and how I celebrate unsubscribes. Like if I have a high unsubscribe rate on an email, I know that this email, whatever it does, there's at least no indifference from my list about it. I either piss someone off or, at the same time as I piss somebody off, I create a bond with another group of people. And that allows me to just make a lot of money. And of course, it just through infotainment, like you mentioned earlier, that one of the 3 E's was entertainment. So what we do is infotain, a concept I learned from Ben Sittle, a fellow copywriter. He basically says the same thing. If you want to get attention in such a saturated, noisy marketplace where people have developed ad blindness, you absolutely have to be entertaining. And as you entertain, you educate, but a tiny little bit. You don't really hard teach, right? So, I'm actually surprised you only mail your list every 4 to 6 weeks. You can probably get away with mailing that list 6 times a day and hypnotizing, your subscribers to do whatever you want to do.
Well, we definitely email every day now. And that was a huge lesson to me. And it's been amazing. And it's been overnight. A massive shift in our marketing push and in our conversion and in our satisfaction even of our customer. I didn't realize that my customers actually wanted to hear from me more. That the challenge was that they thought that I just didn't care, and that's why I wasn't mailing. So I think that's a good lesson for everybody to mail to their list, to stay in contact. Again, if I have certain people that they may email me every single day, and I open up their emails every single day. I have some other people I don't open up their emails every single day, except I open them up periodically so I stay subscribed. So much like I don't think you can overclose, I don't think you can overmail. And then like you just said, the folks that don't want to hear from you, they'll unsubscribe. The folks that like hearing from you sooner or later will end up, opening the email and taking an action. And I also don't think most people realize in our day and age where email has very much become, the snail mail of yesterday, meaning I go to my mailbox and I pull my snail mail out. Many of the envelopes I don't open. I look at the offers. I don't necessarily open them because I'm not interested. Yet one day I decide I'm interested in solar panels for my palace. And I go out to my mailbox and I've gotten that mailing once every 2 weeks, except today it's pertinent. Today it matters. So today is the day I open it. So even though they've mailed me 20 times over the course of the last, year, it doesn't matter. The day that I opened it is the only day that matters. And I think that's the biggest challenge that email marketers want to grasp is that it's not that they don't like you because they didn't open it. Maybe they didn't see it. Maybe it wasn't right now. Yet you got to keep mailing. So I get emails every single day from digital marketer Ryan Dice and Perry Belcher. I get emails every single day from Frank Kern. I get emails every single day from people that are the top of the top in our business. And if the very best in the business email every single day, in due respect, end of conversation. What's the question at that point?
Exactly. So, Marshall, we're coming towards the end of our interview. I just want to ask you one final question. You mentioned you created a network where people can start earning money without investing. Do you mind speaking a little bit about that?
Absolutely. When I seek to grow a business, once again, I model it. I just spoke at a conference in San Diego with Russell Brunson, his Funnel Hack Live conference, and he calls it hacking. To take a look at a business and to see what's working in that business, whether it's an ad, whether it's email copy, whatever it is, and then create something similar with your own twist and branding because it's already working. It's working. I just call it modeling because that's all that it is. And so when my daughter Prosperity was born and I came back out of retirement a year ago, I said, what do I want to do? And I said, you know what, to get me excited, I've made over $220 million in personal income doing what I do, selling products, teaching people through seminars, through live performances, television appearances, over $220 million. So for me to come out of retirement, I said, I need something that gets my juices flowing. And nothing short of $1 billion a year is going to be fascinating for me. Well, there are no $1 billion a year speakers. As far as I know, there are no independent $1 billion a year marketers. And I went and I researched and I found the number one field that people went from 0 to $1 billion or even 0 to 10 billion in 5 years or less. They all had one thing in common. They all were vehicles of communication that used advertising as their base. Whether it's Facebook, whether it's Google, whatever it is, they all became massively valuable because they ran ads. Now, that said, the value of a platform exists because of the number of eyeballs on it. So I thought to myself, heck, if I'm going to create a vehicle that creates over $1 billion a year in income for me, and I gave away, I don't know, $750 million to the eyeballs that were actually creating that revenue for me, then I've still made $250 million. Yet because I gave away $750 million, I probably have some raving fans. So I created a network that we do just that. It doesn't cost anybody a dime to join MDTN.com. That stands for $1 Million Training Network. It doesn't cost anybody a dime to register for MDTN. They get a free account. The moment they log on, they start earning cash from the time that they spend on the network. They also earn cash for any time of anybody they've referred to the network that spends on the network, with this caveat, as long as they're still logged on. Meaning, if I go to the network and I create a free account and I refer 1,000 people, and all 1,000 people go to the website, they log on, they stay logged on, yet I don't. I log off and I don't come back. I earn nothing. Yet if I log back on, I earn for my time plus the time of the 1,000 people that I referred, their time while they're logged on. And what we discovered when we were testing this, Igor, is that, anytime a system can be gamed, people will game that system. And I knew it was going to happen, and I was okay with it. What happens is people go to the network, MDTN.com, they log on to the free account, they never log off. I also give away $1,000 cash. Like I said in a previous conversation, I give away $1,000 cash every single time I'm live on the show. I've given away, in the course of our testing and in our official launch, I've given away over $340,000, $1,000 at a time, regular cash, in addition to the fact that everybody, whether they win cash or not, gets paid for their entire time that they're online. So as far as an internet marketer goes, or as far as a marketer goes, I've created this amazing vehicle that people can generate revenue from bad traffic, from they can find a way to introduce people to what they do, to create that relationship we've been talking about. And if they don't even have any back-end products to sell, we have a top-tier affiliate program attached to MDTN.com that, as I said, pays out 75% commissions, $1,500 commission on one sale on the low end, $30,000 commission on one sale on the high end. And it's all products that have been sold for over 30 years without an affiliate program. They're all proven. They're all tried. We have hundreds of thousands of people who have already invested in the products and love them. So people know they're dealing with somebody that's here to stay. And that's MDTN in a nutshell.
Wow. So, well, first off, I want to testify to the awesomeness of the products. I'm actually going through your product right now, the hypnotic selling product. Wow. So I'm talking like I almost I almost said Tony Robbins quality. I'm like talking really, really high quality stuff, and I can testify to the quality of the product. So guys, you heard him. It's mdtn.com. Go ahead, log in, get a free account, check this out. I mean, I'm just curious to go look at it just to see, the structure behind it, because just like you, I love modeling successful people. But regardless, I mean, you're just on fire. You are just on fire, my friend.
And I wanted to add one more thing, Igor, just so that your audience knows this. We have one of our affiliates that purchased traffic through you. And I want to attest both to the quality of your traffic, also attest to the conversion level. He's converting at about 44% right now. So for traffic, basically cold traffic to convert at 44%, it says, number one, the traffic is good. It also says the traffic is interested in this offer. So if anybody is listening to this podcast right now and you were, number one, considering buying traffic through Igor and his company, wholeheartedly, I put my reputation at stake. I've seen the results. You are in good hands there, and we intend as a company to continue buying traffic there. Also, though, if you're wondering what kind of an offer would that traffic convert for, again, we're seeing it. First time out of the chute. We just relaunched MDTN last week, the first affiliate that tested it with the traffic, getting 44% conversion, opt-in conversion right from the get-go. Let us do our magic for you and let us all change some lives, make some money, and just really enjoy our company. Hey, thanks so much for having me on the show today, man.
Well, appreciate you taking the time. I mean, you're a really busy guy. So, guys, again, mdtn.com. Also, I recommend, as a side note, going to Sylver.com. That's Sylver with a Y, to just check out the product list and all the testimonies that Marshall has. Just crazy. I've never seen anything like it. In fact, I believe that Marshall's testimonials sort of like are way above and beyond what we have as a company, and we're pretty impressive. So, man, it's just, really just truly grateful for taking the time. This has been a tremendous call. I took a lot of notes. I mean, I think like 3 pages of notes, and I'm like, I thought I excel at selling and influence. Now I'm like, okay, got some room to grow now. And yeah, so that's about it. I will let you go. Thank you so much. And until next time.
You are very welcome. You are awesome. I love what you do. Like I said, I'm a huge fan of your company, and I love working with people that come from a place of ethics and actually deliver what they say they're going to deliver. And you, my friend, have over-delivered. Thanks so much for having me on the show, and I look forward to coming back and visiting with you and your audience again soon.
Thank you, Marshall. Thank you for listening to The List Building Lifestyle. Make sure to subscribe on iTunes or Google Play to never miss an episode. Because who knows, just one conversion tactic we share on the show might double your list and double your business. Download the transcript of today's episode and all future episodes at listbuildinglifestyleshow.com. And don't forget to claim your complimentary copy of the Wealthy List Builder Survival Guide at listbuildinglifestyleshow.com/survival. This is Igor Kheifets, and until next time we talk, have a good one.
This is the podcastfactory.com.